following is brought to you by Falzo Filter Supply Company.
You're listening to the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast.
What smells so bad?
It's strong, but you'll get used to it. Now here's your hosts, Nick Stevenson and
buddy.
Chris Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Whatever time of day it is, wherever you may be listening in the world, welcome to episode 32 of the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast. As always, my name is Nick Stevenson, and my man Chris Clark, aka the Hype Gorilla, is in the building, and we're joined by a very special guest, Miss Naomi Richison.
Hey, hey.
AKA the provider of these sweet vector files that we used to make our Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast merch. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate your support of the show, both behind the scenes and also being a listener. And this has been in the works for a little bit.
Yeah,
and I was really happy to hear that you wanted to come on. And we just decided we're going to get here and talk some shit. There's been a lot going on, so I didn't get to interview ahead of time or anything like that. But it's cool, man. We're just gonna wing it. So
let's go.
We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
That's the best one. That's the best one.
For sure. What's your thoughts on eating ass? I don't know.
Let's just jump right on in here.
Yeah, let's just jump on in. Jump on in. You prefer jelly or syrup? What is it? I'm a plain guy myself. I like my ass with no condiments. No, we don't have to get into that. At least not right now. No, but you are the owner of Richison Design.
That's right.
The CEO, the boss, and that's really cool. So what got you interested in doing that type of work? I notice you're all tatted up. So are you an artist by nature?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I dig your tats. I like them.
Thank you.
See, I'm really not a tattoo person because I've seen a lot of bad ones. But if you see good ones, you're like,
I'm a fucking walking image of bad tattoos, dog. Like that's me. I was that stunt dummy when I was fucking 17.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
were slowly but surely going to Banerjee and getting that shit pulled off.
Shout out.
Man.
But yeah, so are you artist by nature? Has that always been your leaning?
Yep, that's always been my thing. I mean, as far as I can remember, blue ribbon at the rodeo art show and all that good stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I was drawing logos for our yard guy when I was a kid. I just didn't know.
Really?
I didn't know that was graphic design. I had no idea.
Right.
I was just like, hey, you need a sign or something.
Right.
I got you. Here I am, like in third grade drawing.
That's what's up. An entrepreneurial third grader.
That's right.
Yeah. That's cool. Me and Chris talk about all the time how it seems like young girls always have a plan when they're really young. Like, I have a daughter who she's known what she wants to do for a living since she was 7 years old.
Yes.
And like boys, we're like, I'm gonna be Batman. Like, we have no plan whatsoever, But I mean, I think that's really cool, and the fact that you were able to turn it into a business. You're working for yourself, not working for the man.
Yeah.
Like, we love stuff like that.
So that's what you do full time?
That's what I do full time.
Nice.
Aside from being a homeschool teacher right now,
Ooh.
I'd rather not.
Oh my
discuss.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. You realize not everybody's built for that.
Oh my gosh. Here I am trying to teach place value to a first grader who got half of kindergarten last year. And I mean, she's my little angel, and here I am making her cry at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right. But have you noticed that also the biggest issue is that the way we learn math, there's no such thing as the way we learn math anymore.
And you're right. You're right.
It's like trying to learn a new language now.
Absolutely.
And my daughter brings me my homework, and I look at him like, yeah, you need to go talk to Whitney.
You brought that to the wrong motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I mean,
yeah.
So last year, Fallon was in third, and she brought the iPad to me, and she's, Dad, I don't understand this. And it was a fraction that was upside down.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and I was like, this don't make no fucking sense. How are you supposed? I don't even remember what we're supposed to be doing, but
yeah.
The big number don't go on top.
You got to multiply it by the inverse.
Like it was. I can't remember what it was called. Balancing fractions or some shit like that. But I'm looking at Haley like,
yeah. All of a sudden he's drooling like
okay.
Patrick on SpongeBob.
Yeah, like dude, it took us a solid 3 hours, I finally called my brother, who's a teacher. I'm like,
Right.
what in the flying fuck is this shit about?
Why are you guys making
Why?
it so much more complicated?
And when would you ever use that? Can you please tell me when you ever see an upside down fraction in the real world?
Even simple stuff like the addition of 3-digit numbers that used to be really easy. You just they're squares and boxes, and then you got to draw. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like as it is, I passed math with like a D+.
Yep.
So like stop
Seriously.
asking me. I'm sorry. Like you know more than I do. Trust me. The thing is, these kids these days don't know how easy they have it. I'm like, you realize all you got to do is ask Alexa for the answer, and it's gonna pop up just like that. Like
I think the way they're getting around that though is they have to show their work, because if you notice,
you can Google that too, bro. I'm sorry, dude. I would have been a straight A student if I had gone to school. You can Google how to do. You can Google it all. And oh man, I mean, I'm not encouraging that, kids. First of all, you shouldn't be listening. If you're a kid, turn this shit off. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, that's not the business.
know that. Good
so
Lord.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more of the artistic type too. But I grew up in a time where, like, if you were in art, you need to get a real job type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so did you get support from your parents when you were growing up? Like, what do you tell your parents when they want you to become a doctor or a lawyer and you're like, I want to draw?
Well, art was always like my hobby. But I was blessed to be really good in school. I was one of those kids. I didn't even open up the book until right before the test. I'd be sitting in class 30 seconds before the test. Let's skim through the pages. All right, I got this. And then I
you were a test
grade.
taker. You were a test taker.
Absolutely.
That's what I was.
But my parents, they didn't care. I think they figured that whatever I did, I'd be good at it.
Yeah.
And so my mom was always like, look, just whatever you want to do, just do your best.
Good job,
Whatever
Mama.
it is, just do your best.
Good job, Mama.
I
That's the type of moms we need in this world, you know? And
I know.
I mean, my parents, they were just working with what they were given. And they had this idea that, like, you have to do something that you make a living at. And I'm like, but Mom, like, I want to write music. I want to.
That was
like,
me.
no,
I was
right.
going to be a rock star until I was like 17. I was like, that's probably not going to work.
Yeah, man. But with my kids now, like, and sometimes they come up with some wild shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you go for that. You do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, remember when Josh came on, he said his oldest has told him she wants to work at Target. He's like, that's good, baby, but let's aim a little bit higher though.
That's what's
You know?
up.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, thank you. I mean, anything my kids come up to me with, I'm gonna tell them, you work your ass off and you go for it. I
Go
don't
be
care
the
what
best.
it is.
Whatever it is you do, you go be the fucking
Right,
best.
because now I know the value of loving what you do versus just
yeah.
Absolutely.
walking through it.
It makes
So,
all the difference.
Yeah, for sure. And so you probably get excited when you get a phone call from a startup podcast like, hey, can you turn this into a vector file? And, I mean, we've supplied you with the art, so I don't know. Tell me how that works, because I supplied you with a picture. Like, did you have to redraw the thing entirely? Or
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah,
That's
sometimes you get, I'll get a GIF or a JPEG from a client, and there's like little ways around it that'll give you like a head start, and sometimes it's like, all right, this is just gonna be bad. I just got to start all over and take
Yeah.
it from there. But you know, whatever you got to do to make the image come out the best is
Yeah.
what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So,
I got it.
About how long does it take?
too long.
Yeah, she don't want to tell us that. She might have to charge us more. She's like, oh, you didn't know I came here with my receipts.
I am learning a lot about how much time it realistically takes to start a project to completion, and not just the design work, but the invoicing, all the research, the business side of things. It's a process.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
for what you did, I really appreciate it. I felt
yeah.
like it was very competitive pricing. I honestly didn't look anywhere else because my man Chris said, hey, I know somebody. Cool. I trust you, you know? So, and I hate to do this to my buddy, but when we were trying to get logo designs,
Oh, yes.
this is my man. I've known him since I was a freshman in high school. We've been boys forever. And I didn't go to him like, hey, man, I need the homeboy hookup. But when you go to somebody you know, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm one of those people, I believe you should get paid what you're worth, what your work is worth.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I had a number in mind. And I'm like, hey, man, we need a design. We need this and that. I told him what we need. He's like, yeah, that'll be like $5,000. I was like,
He
I'm
called
sorry.
and told me that. I was like,
I was
Well-
like, I was like, I
What?
love you, Mike. How's your mom doing? Good hearing from you. Like I was
Moving
like,
on.
yeah. But you know, I didn't know anything about doing all of this, so I'm really thankful for people like yourself
Yeah,
because
no worries.
I wouldn't have known where to begin. I just knew I wanted to make a T-shirt, and I thought it was gonna be super easy. Like I just click and paste, right? A little bit more to it than that. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you did a very fine job. And I've seen some of your other work. So you want to shout out some of the other businesses you've done some work for?
Oh shoot! Oh my goodness! Where
So
do
people
I start?
can Google it.
Yeah.
See what it looks like.
First of all, I'm very lucky to know a really great network of people, individuals, and business owners here in Deer Park and LaPorte and the surrounding areas.
That's big.
Since I used to be the communications director for the Deer Park Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, snap.
So,
Really?
Yeah, I worked there for almost 4 years, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
It
I
was
was about
great.
to say, I need some insight.
Yeah,
I need
no.
some insight on this.
I love
Yeah.
that. I got you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about business. I didn't know what a chamber did when I walked in or anything like that, but I knew graphics. And I would see the graphics that they were already using or flyers or their directory, and I was like, I can one up that, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I got you. And so I went in there, and the last thing my boss said before he hired me was, you know what, there's one problem with you. It's like, you're not going to be here for very long because you're too good for this job.
That's a good compliment.
But yeah, I was flattered because I didn't even know. I went from college to a stay-at-home mom for about 5-6 years. And so, I mean, I did graphic design and web design on the side. It was really a hobby because there's not really that much extra time when you're a stay-at-home mom.
And that's what you did in college?
Yeah, graphic design.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know, and it was a career until I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't even know what an Apple was.
Right.
One of my teachers said, "Oh, you need to get an iMac." And I was like, "What is that? What is that?" They're like, "Oh, it's a computer." I'm like, "Okay." Anyways, I got
and that's tricky when you're going
Yeah.
from PC. Like honestly, I feel like Apple products are easier to learn
I agree.
if you're starting with no knowledge. But when you grew up using PC,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple's like a whole nother language
Yeah,
to you.
so my dad was like corporate IT, and he build computers, and I'd help him build computers, and like, you know, I grew up, I mean, obviously the internet, that's
Right.
that's, you know, my jam.
Right.
And
Some AOL action.
yes, that dial up still haunts my dreams.
Oh,
Yeah. But so he gave me a bunch of shit, but it all worked out. I loved it. One of my professors even said, you know what, why don't you, I'm going to offer you a teaching position when you're done graduating. And I'm like, no,
snap.
I don't want to be a teacher. But, you know, it just kind of like was my thing. I hit it off. Me and graphics and computers, it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, through the Deer Park Chamber, I got to understand and know business a little bit better.
Right.
Aside from, you know, I knew my skill set, that was fine and dandy, but I was under the impression that a lot of business owners like had their stuff together, all of that, you know.
Right.
No,
Surely they must.
no offense, I am not name calling anybody here, so I'm not talking about you.
Right.
And I
tell you
just
right now, that is far from the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people would come up to me for all kinds of stuff, and I realized that I had a lot more knowledge than I thought I did. I had value. And then that's when I was like, all right, I think I'm going to start thinking in another direction here.
Yeah.
But I was very lucky to work with wonderful, wonderful people who gave me creative freedom.
Yeah.
They basically let me do my thing, and I'd like to think I did it well. And yeah, that's that.
Yeah. I mean, having a circle, a good group of people and networking, we talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crucial.
Absolutely.
And we are really fortunate that I feel like the business owners in this area, in the Deer Park, LaPorte, Pasadena area, are really tight-knit group of people. Like they all want to help each other out.
Absolutely.
And the spirit of entrepreneurship and community in this area is great. So that's why, I mean, we're fortunate that we started our ventures here because we've gotten most of our support has been local.
Yeah.
And it's been huge. So you said you went to college and you were a stay-at-home mom for a while. So how old were you when you had how many children do you have?
I have two.
You have two.
Yeah, I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess
Wonderful
I was
ages.
like Oh yeah, they're super.
Yeah, boys.
My 6-year-old is my daughter, and my son is 9.
Okay, so you have a boy and a girl. You got
Yeah.
the perfect little family set up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So,
So
they into
far.
sports? Do they draw? Do they get your? What do they
Oh
do?
gosh, my son is into gaming, anything gaming. And my daughter is super creative. She's
Yeah.
just like me, very particular. She likes her things
Right.
done a certain way. If it's not done her way, then beat it.
I just got to say one thing. We mentioned this before. Don't look down on that gaming stuff. This is a whole
no.
new day and age.
I
There's
know
kids
it.
getting scholarships to go to college
Yep.
to play video games.
Absolutely.
So like there was, when we were growing up, it was like, don't play that game, it'll rot your brain, because we didn't know any better. And now, I mean, I'm telling you, there's kids playing, and it's the same games we're playing at home. They just played them all those hours they spent, not doing their homework or whatever. They got passionate about it, and I mean, there's kids making real money
Absolutely.
playing video games. So
Yeah, I
that's
think
one of those
it's-
things, like we were saying, if your kids are into it, like encourage them.
Yep.
And you said your son is the 9-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I think it's just like anything else, all things in moderation.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of good that comes from gaming as well, especially now when you've got a headset, you can talk to people and everything. He knows like the safety aspect of it, don't give out your information or anything like that. But there's a lot of things that you can learn from games as well. So, I mean, I played a lot of games when I was younger.
For sure.
And
I mean, there's a lot of strategy. There's a lot
it's
of
like
things.
coordination.
Absolutely.
Strategy for sure. I'm like, look, do you really want to go into that level with that weapon when you know that bad guy's weakness is this?
Exactly. I mean, they're actually using a really high brain function, so that's cool. And you said your daughter's the artistic one, so is she gonna
Absolutely.
follow mama's footsteps?
Oh yeah, she's got her own YouTube channel. She does a
Oh, nice.
yeah, she does
Go ahead and shout that out.
cutie crafts with Harper.
Nice.
Nice. And what's she doing there?
She teaches like younger kids like how to do little crafts. So we do little projects together, and then I'll go ahead and record her. And she does some unboxing stuff because that's what she sees the other YouTubers doing. And
she's
that's
6?
fine. She's 6. Yeah.
Chris, why have we not had a woman president of the United States up to this point?
So I want to know I'm going to ask you a question that I don't want to know the answer to because I don't want my pride to get hurt. But how many subscribers does this young lady have on her YouTube channel?
Well, fortunately, it's not too many right now. We started this.
She's still young, so you got to be careful. Yeah.
Well, we started this, whenever COVID started, and I was like, okay, well, this is going to be a fun little thing that we can do. And then came the hours of editing, and the hours of shooting, and then oh my gosh, it's just never.
But
ending.
at 6 years old, are you helping her edit, or is she doing this?
Actually, the first time we shot a video, I was like, sure, baby, I'll
Yeah.
record you doing this. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, this is whatever. We're killing time here, whatever works. And then it was like a switch flipped when she was behind the camera. I was like, where did this chick come from?
Is she
She's all
interested in an
professional.
internship? Chris, we're gonna have to stop saying the F word. But wow,
She
6
gets,
years old.
Yeah, she gets serious behind the video. She's very she breaks all the different steps down, and she'll tell you like the materials you need for that time. And oh, by the way, you shouldn't use this because a lot of times this will mess up this.
Right.
And you've got to do this first, but make sure it's dried. And I'm like, I am not teaching her anything. I'm just back behind the camera.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It's impressive.
That is impressive.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, America, can we elect a woman president? Like, these girls have their shit together at a very early age. Like, can we get on this shit at some point?
I agree.
We got to make it happen. That's crazy. So you got to be really proud of that. And I understand.
Yeah.
That's funny because me and Chris are always paying attention to, like, there'll be some 8-year-old kid with 200,000 followers.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
That's why I was
millions of
asking
views
earlier.
on his
Like,
page.
we have 123 subscribers on our YouTube page. Like, how are we doing in the grand scheme of shit
no
compared to a
worries.
6-year-old?
I think last time I checked, it was like 30 or
Okay,
so. So
okay.
Yeah,
she's got a ways to go.
yeah, but she's 6. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You see, my kids, both of my kids were like, I want to start a YouTube channel. And I was like, what are you going to do on it? Right? So Hannah likes to get on YouTube and watch these videos of these kids playing with dolls.
Yeah.
And it's just a kid holding a doll next to another doll and doing voices. And I'm like, that is ridiculous.
I
Go
can't-
look at those videos and see how many views they have, bro.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
There'll be
It's
6
crazy.
million
It's
views
crazy.
on the video. And that little 6-year-old playing with Barbie dolls is probably
has
worth
a
more than
monetized YouTube channel.
all of us together. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's see. Let me find some dolls. Cause she's like, she was watching this one, like this kid did a challenge, like to see how long he could close himself inside of a taped up box. And the camera was in the box with them. And it had like 7 million views, bro. I'm like, what are we doing?
Everyone to see if you passed out or not.
Right,
At the
I was
end.
like, what are we doing wrong right now? Like, my last video got 40 views on it.
I'm about to say, we're putting 20 hours of production into these fucking podcasts, and you got a 6-year-old in a box with a fucking smartphone. God,
I'm telling
bro.
you, man,
Hey,
it's
man,
crazy.
It's a
But
crazy day to be alive.
Yeah,
I tell you what. But man, I mean, these kids, if they have something they're passionate about and they're dreaming, and I mean, I say go for it. So when's she gonna be allowed to get her first tattoo, Mom?
I waited until my mom said yes. Now
Mm-hmm.
I asked her every damn day. But as soon as she said yes, then I was gone.
How old
Yeah.
were you when she said yes?
I was 18.
When she said yes, sorry. You were 18?
I was 18, so
You have to be 18 to get a tattoo, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Like,
yeah.
I don't think you can
I
sign
don't-
for them anymore.
I
Like
don't
you used
know.
to.
Okay.
Back in my day, you could sign for them.
Okay. So
But I
unless you
don't
get
think
like a
that's
jailhouse tat, then you
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we're not advocating that at
I
all.
had
No,
sense
don't do
enough
that.
to know that I was going to wait until after high school, because high school was just school, and then after high school would be the real world. And although at 18 I wasn't really in the real world yet, at
Yeah.
least I wasn't around the people that I didn't really want to be around anymore.
Right, exactly.
I wasn't like putting up a front all the time.
Right.
So yeah, I waited, and
That's
I waited
cool.
until I knew exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
I've got no regrets on any of my tattoos.
My kids have already asked me, when can we get tattoos? I was like, you gotta talk to your mom about that. Like, I have never gotten a tattoo, and I'm not against them. It's like I said, I've seen so many bad ones, and I look at those people, I'm like, that's gonna be on you forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Dude, like, I'm
And I
telling
can't-
you, I am a fucking walking tattoo dummy. Like,
Yeah.
anything that's not covered by my pants or my shorts and my shirt
Right.
is a fucking whack
How
ass
many
tattoo.
how many of them do you still like?
I like my arms.
Yeah. I tried to think, like, what could I put on my body that I would be okay
Like,
with being there forever. And I was like, maybe like my kids' names. Like, I love my wife to death, but I
well,
wouldn't even put her name.
I had my mom, my dad, and then together forever united as one on my chest.
Right. See that?
So those are the ones
Sweet.
I can dig that. But there's a lot of butterfly tramp stamps walking around right now
yeah.
that are like,
Yeah,
and you're gonna be 80 years old with that shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's whack, dude. Like, that is the one thing I wish I could go back and not fucking do is
It's all good.
Yeah.
You're
I
only
think
young.
as an artist, you appreciate certain things, you know, like growing up, and you admire certain things. And I wanted those to be, you know, on me. They're
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
representative
Yeah.
of
It
who I
kind
am.
of tells the story
Yeah.
of your growing up. I
Absolutely.
dig that. See, I can get with that.
I wish I had that same.
Right. Versus the drunk tattoo,
Ugh.
which there's probably a lot of those out there.
I got
So-
drunk piercings, no drunk tattoos.
Oh,
You can
man.
take those out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
that's
those.
true.
That can
That's
go
true.
away.
Oh man, I don't know. I have 2 girls, and I don't even know where to begin on all that stuff. We talk about all the time, you know, because like my 8-year-old wants a cell phone. I'm like, you don't need a cell phone.
Yeah,
and I have a
no.
daughter who's a freshman in high school now, and fortunately, Maddie's she's pretty tame when it comes to, like, her thing was makeup. She wanted to start putting on makeup, and I think she started in the 6th or 7th grade.
Makeup's fun.
Yeah, and she wasn't
Yeah.
crazy, and she's actually really good at it. Her mom is a makeup artist and an esthetician.
That's
so
great.
she takes on with that. And I don't know, you know how dads are. I was like, I think that eyeliner's a little too dark type
Well,
stuff, you know.
See, when Fallon first started getting into it, she came in. Of course, it was fucking everywhere. I was like,
Yeah.
"What the? Who gave you that? Like, what are you doing?"
Right.
And Hay was like, "Look, everybody starts somewhere.
Right.
Everybody has to get comfortable. Like,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
it's okay for her to play with makeup. Like,
Bright red lipstick.
I said, look,
blue
you can't-
eyeshadow.
I don't want her in public walking around. Like, oh no.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like if we go somewhere, it comes off.
Right.
And that's to this day. That's how we run. If she wants to walk around looking like a clown in the house, then
Yeah.
fine.
Maddie made a couple of videos of her doing her makeup that she put on her Instagram, and I was like, she's got a real talent for this.
Yeah,
Like,
and see, Fallon's getting there. She's I
Yeah.
don't know the technical terms, but like blending. Is that what it's
Blending?
called?
Yeah.
For the eyes. Yeah, she's starting to get this where
Yeah,
it's
she's a blender.
not where it's like caked on, but it's like
Right,
done
right.
neatly.
Yes.
That's
I think
cool.
I think there's a lot of adult women who could use how to learn.
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
jeez.
That's true. That's true.
I'm like, oh, lady, come on.
Yeah.
Oh man, so that's really cool, man. Being a parent, it's because you think about when we were that age, and I remember my parents telling me I couldn't do stuff that I was like, oh, that's so stupid. Like, I don't understand why they won't let me do this. But then when you become a parent, like my daughter right now, she's 14.
You sure?
Yes, she will be 15 in January. Sorry. That is the age her mother was when I met her mother.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes, on her 14th birthday, I was like, I just got this like sick pit in my stomach. And I imagine Maddie coming home and be like, Daddy, this is my boyfriend and I love him. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I immediately, on my daughter's birthday, I called my mom and I called my father and I was like, hey guys, I get it now. I was like, I'm sorry, I get it. Because I was 16 and her mom was 14 when we met. And when I'm looking at Maddie, thinking no,
Fuck
Yeah.
no.
fuck no.
It's crazy.
It's crazy stuff, man.
It happens so fast. I know everyone says it, but until like you're going through that same thing, like you're like, holy shit, this
Yeah.
True.
really happened
It's
fast.
true. I tell people like you got to enjoy it while it's here. And
Yeah.
you know, Madeline's mother and I pretty much split up. She was a baby when we split up, and we got back together for a little while. But I spent the majority of her life as like, you know, only seeing her every other weekend type thing, and it goes by even faster when that's the case. And she finally came to live with us, and I mean, dude, that was almost 4 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
gone like that. She was in the 5th grade when she came to live with us, and she's a freshman in high school now. So
That's crazy.
you got to cherish it. You got to cherish it while it lasts. So you gonna have any more?
Oh God, no, not if I can help it.
That was just an accident, huh? How long you been married?
10 years in 2 weeks.
Congratulations on that.
Nice.
Yeah, thank
Congratulations on that. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
10 years. You're at 10, right?
Yeah, June 26th was our 10th.
Okay. And how old were you when you got married?
24.
24. So did you feel like you'd lived all the wild, crazy life you wanted to live
Oh
by
yeah.
the time you got married?
I was crazy.
You were done?
Oh, I partied hardy.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
partied. Now I would show up to my 7:30 AP history class smelling like a bar.
That's funny.
I walked in and I
That's
think
funny.
everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Like we all know where she was. I wouldn't go to sleep or just take my test and be like, "All right, I need to pass out now."
So you got it done early. I'm telling you, man, these girls do. They grow up fast. So you got it all done, got it out of your system early.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. I grew up, like I said, I met my daughter's mother when I was 16, and we were together until I was 23. So like all of a sudden we get divorced. I'm at 23 years old. I'm divorced. I'm doing with the 40-year-olds. So like I really have nothing in common with people in my age group anymore because they're still like single, partying, never been married, and I'm like I'm so out of place. So I'm like hanging out at Sherlock's with the Cougs, like, because I'm living the same life they're living. And
Sherlock.
Sherlock's is a great place. Don't get drunk and try to find the bathroom. But other than that, because you ever been to Sherlock's,
Oh,
Chris?
yeah.
I believe once or twice.
I don't know if you remember.
It wasn't for
but
very
there was
long,
a
though.
wall. It was like fake books. It looked like a library. And the bathroom was in that wall somewhere. Like,
You had to pull the bookcase.
you had to pull the
Opened up,
bookcase to get
yeah.
in the bathroom. So you see drunk motherfuckers all the time, like trying to find walking into the women's bathroom when you're like, oh man.
Yeah.
But shout out, they closed that place a few years ago, man. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of living life backwards, and on this show we talk a lot about relationships, and you know, Chris, he married his high school sweetheart, and he's really fortunate, like it worked out for him. And you said you were 24 when you got married. Is this
That's
somebody
right.
you grew up dating, or?
No, actually, my longest relationship until I met my husband was 8 months. Like I would pretty much know at that point
Right.
whether or not that person was
Yeah.
all right. At this point, I'm invested in the relationship. Do I continue wasting my time,
Yeah.
or do
Right.
I move on and
Yeah,
like
of
you know?
course.
See, that's a very mature response too.
Yeah.
Me and my dumb ass, I'd be with a person for 3 years, like, and I knew I knew 2.5 years ago I wasn't gonna marry him. Like, damn.
I know a lot of guys like that, and I think guys just get very comfortable. Like, you know what? Nothing's bad is happening. So,
I think that's hard to tell somebody like, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't go out and cheat. I would just stay.
yeah.
Like I lived with a girl for like 2.5 years, and I knew like 6 months into it that I was not gonna marry her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm good because she wasn't really talking about marriage or anything like that. So like we were just having fun. We were friends. Like
That's right.
It was all good. And then one day she brings up marriage and kids, and I'm like,
Yeah, you get that reaction, then it's like, all right, here's your son.
yeah. I'm like, hey, what's in the movies right now? Let's go see a movie. Like trying to change the subject and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But that's a very mature response to that. So you said the longest relationship was 8 months.
That's right. Yeah.
So what was it about your husband? Like it clicked. You knew he was the one.
Well, actually, I was with another guy when I met him,
I feel you.
and I
Hey, we're in that same club. It's cool.
and I honestly, it was a mutual friend here that introduced us at the bar. You know, very very romantic.
Yeah, absolutely.
At a bar downtown, and he was like, "Hey Naomi, this is my friend Clinton. He's got tattoos. Hey Clinton, this is my friend Naomi. She's got tattoos." And then he walked off, and I was like, "Okay."
That's funny.
Damn.
and we hung out, and he was cool, and then that was that. And,
Let me ask you about your vibes before you met him, because you said you'd been through some probably bad relationships.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say your vibe was by the time you met the right person? Like, were you skeptical? Were you like, oh, men ain't shit?
Nah.
What was your vibe when you met him?
I am
Take notes, ladies.
I'm very laid back. Don't look for shit.
Mm-hmm.
When it happens, it happens. Just live your life. Just have fun.
Yes.
You don't need to live your life for anyone else, you know. Just you've got one life to live.
Right.
Have fun, and you do you, and whenever that person comes along, they're going to be attracted to the real you.
Exactly.
Not some front you're putting on for other people, trying to, you know,
Preach.
attract what you think you want.
Right.
Because a lot of people think they know exactly what they want, and that's really not the case.
Yeah. Man, there's a lot of women out there changing up their bodies, trying to look like what they saw on Instagram. Like, I'm telling you, and I know that some of you ladies out there are doing that for you because you want to feel good about you. And if that's the reason, awesome, go for it. But if you're doing these things because you think that that's what the opposite sex wants you to look like, I'm telling you, a good man is going to sniff that out, and he's going to realize she don't love her, and that means she's going to come with some drama. Like, because you cannot force a person who does not love themselves. Like, you can't love them enough.
That's right.
Because there's always going to be something missing. So I guarantee you that when your husband met you, he was like, this chick is cool as fuck. Like, she's relaxed. She's not, you know, I mean, I can't express that enough. And the reason I asked you that question is because when it's coming from me, people are like, you're a man. What the fuck do you know? And it's true. I do not know what it's like to be a single woman. Actually, that's not true. I do know a little bit now what it's like to be a single woman. Let me clarify what I'm talking about really quick.
This.
Yeah, can we
Get some elaboration?
Yeah.
We're trying to do this thing called Two Peas in a Podcast, okay? And what I've promised some of the ladies who've been interested in doing this is I'll find you a man. I'll go find you a boyfriend. It's easy. There's lots of good guys out there. Well,
Holy flying
what you
fuck.
come to find out when you actually go out there and start looking for a boyfriend. Number one, I've had like 3 dudes think I was hitting on them, and they accepted. I was like, no, dude, this is not for me. But you know, a guy walks up to you like, hey, are you single? Like, I can understand. I probably should clarify what I'm talking about before going into that conversation. But there's a lot of not good options out there. But I think what you said was really key. Maybe because you're looking like every person you meet, you're trying to like, hey, do they fit in this box? Nope. You know, and if you just put out good vibes and be a good person, like you're going to attract the right type of people. I can say that about my wife. Like, she was not long out of a divorce, but she was not on this vibe of man hating and you know, like both of us were going through some stuff. But when I met her, she was just a cool individual who I could have a conversation with. And when, you know, when conversations did get deeper, it wasn't all about, what that other person did. Like, we had some self-reflection, like, hey, this is some of the things I wish I'd have done better in my previous relationships. We had some honesty. And it was a really cool thing. But I told my wife all the time, like, because there was other women who were just constantly complaining and not trusting and skeptical and just negative. And
when you're like
I'm
that,
not
you
feeling
turn
that vibe.
bitter.
Yes.
And that bitterness is really hard to change. That's like a black hole. You just
And it
it's not good.
shows.
Yeah,
It shows
does.
tremendously.
It
yeah.
does.
And it's not even fair because you could be a really good person, but when you're putting out that vibe, it's just unattractive. Like people are gonna be like, I'm gonna stay away from that.
I agree.
And look, we got an example right here, ladies. 10 years in the making. This woman did the right thing. She just put out good vibes, was a cool person, wasn't stressing about it, and it happened
Yeah,
for her.
we just had fun.
Yeah, that's
That's what we
cool.
do.
That's cool. And you got 2 awesome kids that came from it.
That's right.
So what's in Naomi Richison's future? Like right now you're doing the Richison Designs thing.
That's
I'm
right.
sure you have ambitions of growing that bigger or maybe even adding additional aspects of art to it. Like what's in the future?
Yeah. So, as far as the creativity and the art side goes, I kind of do everything. So, what I sell is graphic and web design, but as hobbies, like I paint and I draw and I do like collages and I explore different things with my daughter that she's coming to find. And I do makeup, special effects makeup. I do special effects props for Halloween.
cool.
Oh, I love Halloween.
Yeah, that's like makeup heaven right there.
Oh yeah. So I spend a lot of money on special effects stuff, and pretend like I know what I'm doing, but it all works out in the end. And as far as the future, I just plan on getting better
Yeah.
and learning the business side of things, and then we'll see. Maybe I can get some people to hop on board and help me out with administrative stuff so that I can get down to the nitty gritty and get some good art out.
Have you ever considered podcasting?
I have not. I
You
was
have
kind of
not?
looking forward to this. My husband he jumped on the podcast wagon when Joe Rogan, the very, very beginning days.
yeah.
That's Chris's
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
I like Joe Rogan too.
I love him too. I love his podcast.
I love the fact that Joe Rogan can fucking talk to anybody.
I
Yeah.
love it too.
That's his niche. Like that he can just have a conversation, a real conversation
Yeah.
with anybody.
yeah.
I'm gonna put you onto an underrated podcast. You know who Arian Foster is?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, used to be running back for the
Yeah.
Texans. His rap name is Bobby Fino.
Okay.
So he's also a rapper, but he actually has his own podcast. It's called the What Now podcast,
Okay.
and he has a wide variety, of guests. And I probably listen to him more than Rogan. Like I really
right.
dig his stuff. I
I'm gonna check
recommend
that
checking
out.
it out. Yeah, he's had all kinds of celebrities on, but he's had like obscure like scientists, astronauts. Like he's had
Wow.
all kinds of people on. His very first guest was his mother. That's kind of what inspired
yeah.
me to have
I
our
like
moms
that.
on
That's
as our
nice.
first guest. So yeah, like he had a really good conversation with his mother. He's had local rap legends. Like he's had all kinds of people on the show. His big thing is he really wants Jim Carrey to come on his show.
Okay.
So after every show, he asks the guest, "Hey, can you look at that camera, talk to Jim Carrey, and tell him to come on my show?" Because
All
like
right.
he's like Jim Carrey's #1 fan, right? And I don't know, I haven't listened to it in a while. I don't know if Jim Carrey's made it yet. Jim Carrey is very difficult to access these days because he's like Hollywood royalty. He's like legendary now.
He's like
but
an eccentric too.
Yeah.
yeah. But he's actually a really smart and introspective
Oh,
dude too. So I
absolutely.
think that would be an extremely good podcast.
Yeah,
So
that'd be cool. And it's so funny that you mentioned Jim Carrey, obviously, in that regard. But my son has literally watched all of his movies today.
really?
All I've seen today on TV has been Jim Carrey.
Wow.
yeah, because you know what? It's funny because my kids like him too. All the goofy movies like The Mask and Dumb
Yep.
and Dumber. But we've watched like some of his more serious stuff too. And I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude's a talented guy. So I was just curious about if you'd ever been interested in podcasting because we're actually looking for a female voice. And we've been talking to some very
All right,
wonderful
well,
candidates.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we've been talking to some really wonderful candidates, but I said I want to talk to as many people as possible because you seem comfortable on the mic. You got.
So this is your first time doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're doing, man.
You're doing it 1,000 times better than we fucking did.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you should go back and listen to our first episode. It was pretty
Holy
rough.
Shit.
It was pretty rough. So let's talk about. I don't want to get into like politics or anything, but like, what makes Naomi tick? Like if we were sitting here and you were, let's just pretend you were part of this show, like because what we're looking for is somebody who's not going to agree with everything we say.
All right.
That's one of the reasons that we want a woman's perspective
Yeah.
on things.
I'm opinionated.
See, that's what we're looking for. So, like, what's the type of stuff that makes you tick? Like, what gets you excited? What makes you angry? Like, let's talk about it.
Okay. Number one thing that makes me angry, I'm going to start there, get it out of the way, is intolerance of other people.
Yes.
Intolerance. Like, just because someone doesn't like what you like or someone doesn't hate what you hate, that doesn't mean
fucking
you
preach.
can't.
That is so
Fucking
relevant to the
preach.
times
Oh
we're
my
living in right
God.
now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I grew up, my mom, once again, she, tolerance, what she always said. She always listened to, so I was born in Holland. I'm Dutch.
Okay.
And so she'd listen to a lot of Dutch music, and I'm like, oh God, Mom. Like you talk about like the Hispanic
Right.
families. It's like 6:37 in the morning on a Saturday, and they're like blaring the music. All right, time
Yeah.
to clean. That was my mom.
I'm gonna have to Google some Dutch music because
You
I
don't
don't
need
know.
to. You don't need to.
No, I think I do. Because I'm trying to imagine in my head what this sounds like, and I'm like, I don't know what that sounds like. And I actually I used to, I have friends who at one point were family who actually are of Dutch descent. So like I can eat it. I've had you eat the ham sandwich with the butter instead of the mayonnaise type shit.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's
I've
the thing.
never heard of that.
I was about to say,
Dude,
yeah,
it's a game changer.
It's hagelslag, the chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah, that too. They have butter with chocolate sprinkles on top.
Yeah, that's
on the bread.
breakfast. That's
breakfast.
breakfast. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
it's pretty good. I thought it sounded gross as fuck because what it was is my former brother-in-law, who actually was a friend of mine growing up, he's of Dutch descent, and their grandmother was elderly and needed looking after. And I was home. I was an independent study at high school, so I had time on my hands. So I would just go over there and do my schoolwork and hang out with her. And she was cool as fuck, dude. She was like 70, 80 something,
Yeah.
but she was cool as hell. But like, you know how old people are, they eat on a schedule.
Yeah.
And like, so she would come there and get her fresh bread and she'd slice it. And I remember the first time I pulled out some mayonnaise, she's like, no. And she just pulls out a big ass slab of butter, bro, and slapped it on a piece of bread after it was toasted and then sprinkled some chocolate on that. And I was like, that looks disgusting. Bro, it was delicious. It was one of the best things I ever tasted in my life. Like, I mean, I love butter.
Holy
I love
shit.
butter. I love chocolate. You don't realize, like, it's a good combination. Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah,
you.
no worries. We're having a discussion.
Yeah. So you said the Dutch music. She's always blaring it.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm like, Mom, stop. And then I grew up like a metalhead. I
Right.
love metal. I like a lot of stuff,
Hell yeah.
techno.
Yeah.
Being from Holland, techno kind of,
Right.
it has a special place in my heart, but I cannot listen to it 24/7.
Yeah. That'll make
Yeah.
you start twitching and shit.
Yeah, for real. So, there's a lot of stuff I like, but one of the things that she always did was like, okay, tolerance. She was like, okay, you listen to your music, that's fine. It makes you happy, so you do you,
Yeah.
And that's
You do you.
You
We
do
gotta
you.
put that on a t-shirt, bro.
for real.
I'm telling you, like, that is what I was going, on our show, I like to go through Facebook and look for like interesting conversation and stuff like that. I've been seeing this one recently. Today I saw a post where a guy is like, if you don't pump your woman's gas, then you're just her girlfriend or some shit like that. I was like, okay, hold on. How can you put that in a box? Like, maybe that's how you feel, like you pump your woman's gas. Cool, do you? Like, what if my woman don't want me pumping her gas?
Yeah.
Or what if I got a broke leg? Like because he said I was at a gas station and I saw a guy sitting in the car while his woman was pumping gas, and it was just pathetic. And then down the whole comment thread, everybody's arguing their point, and like if you didn't, like, oh, you're an idiot, but like, bro,
I hate
this
that.
is honestly a
I hate
matter of
that.
opinion right now.
I know. I
Like,
really. The thing is, you don't know what's going on. He could have been in the car, fixing her phone. She's like, babe, I don't know. I did this update. Now my
You have
email
no
won't
idea.
load. I
Yeah.
can't figure this out. I'm gonna pump the gas. Can you please work on my phone?
Yeah.
Like
in
it's,
2 seconds, you made a judgment about someone you've never met in your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. My mom.
because he's not doing something that you would do.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
My mom's got like serious road rage.
Uh-huh.
I'm more like, I'm gonna put on the jams, I'm gonna chill, and I'm gonna, we're just gonna get through this traffic whenever it's done. That's
Right,
that.
right.
But she would just be yelling at someone, and I'm like, Mom, his mom could have just gotten a call from the police department. His mom, has a heart attack, or maybe there was a house fire. Our house caught on fire when I was in high school one time.
Right.
Or just once.
Just once. Well, that's good.
You just, yeah. You just don't ever know what's going on in somebody else's life. And for people to react so strongly without knowing all the facts, without even questioning or anything, then
And
it just
honestly,
drives me
like,
crazy.
do you even have to question? Like, who cares? Like,
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
go about the rest of your day.
Exactly.
Like, there's 100 different things you could have been worried about in that moment that pertain to you. They worried about, like, I really hate, this is another social media pet peeve, like you ain't a real man unless you do this. I'm like, you know what real men do? They don't concern themselves with what other men are doing.
Bitch about
Stupid ass shit on
everything.
Facebook.
Yes.
Thank you. That's like, come
Yes.
on.
And the worst part is that they felt so strongly about it that they had to put it on social media for
Yes.
all the thousands of people to see. And wow, like
Yeah.
you don't have anything better to do. If you don't have anything better to do than complain about someone else, then you need to look at yourself in the mirror and figure
It's
out
gotta
what's
be an
missing from
attention
your
thing.
life.
It's
I-
gotta be an attention
I
thing.
think a lot of people don't know how to use social media. you
Yeah.
know?
I think some people just shouldn't have it.
I
I saw
agree.
another one. This lady's like, you're not a real woman if you don't make your man's plate. I'm like,
Fuck that.
No. See, no. I'll make my own fucking plate because I know how hungry I am. Like,
exactly. You
No.
hand your wife an empty plate, it might come back with some parsnips or some bullshit on it.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, it's just. But I go through the comment thread and they're getting all heated. All right, well, while you ain't making your man's plate, maybe he'll be at my house while I'm making his plate. All this stupid bullshit. I'm like, really? Is it that serious?
Yeah.
Is it that serious? First of all, like, I don't keep track of that. I'm pretty sure I've made Whitney's plate before, and I'm pretty sure she's made mine. Like, at the end of the day, we both know we're fucking hungry and we're about to eat. Who
Yeah.
gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, if that is what you are basing, if your relationship is a good relationship or not, like, you got some bigger problems.
Yeah.
Like me, let's eat so we can get to doing whatever else. Like, the eating part, let's get that out of the way
Yeah.
so we can sit down on the couch and spend some time together or go do something with the kids. Like,
Yeah.
who gives a shit who's making whose plate? But I'm telling you, there had to be like 100 something comments of people just going back and
crazy.
forth about stupid stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a pet peeve of mine. And obviously there's so much intolerance. Like we don't really get into politics on this show at all. But right now, more than any time I can think of, like people will full on like stop being friends with somebody or stop talking to somebody
Dude,
because of an opinion.
And it's
Yeah.
it's not even an opinion. I mean, yes, an opinion, but I've seen posts like, if you're voting for Trump, just unfriend me now. Or
Yep.
like this post and I'll delete you.
First of
Yeah.
all, ain't nobody got time for that
What the
bullshit. Don't be lazy. You delete me, motherfucker.
What in the actual fuck?
Do you think
Why
I
is
have
it-
time to go on your shit and click? No, I don't have time for that shit. Stop being lazy. You unfriend me.
And it doesn't fucking matter, dude. It doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, none of that horse shit matters.
So then,
just too
you know,
much.
what
It's
you're
too much.
saying is that you value this opinion and this viewpoint more than you value other people and your friendships and your family. And well, man, then I'm sorry for you.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks.
That's a
That is
sad little fucking
sad
life to
fucking
live.
way to live.
yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I completely agree. And I think it's, I think it was like a meme I saw, something about, you know, we were taught not to talk about religion or politics because it was rude, but we should have been taught how to have real discussions
Yes,
with
how to talk
people.
about it.
Yes, how
Absolutely.
to talk, how
Yep.
to just have a discussion and you say your part and I
Yep.
say my part and you share your viewpoints with other people
Yeah.
because that's how people progress. That's how you learn. You're learning from other people, from other cultures, from other
right.
people's history. That's how you learn. So whenever
To-
you shut that door, then you
Yeah. And to show, you know, sometimes we forget that as a society, we're not really all as advanced as we think we are. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. All politics aside, when 44 was president, Obama, what was one of the biggest narratives? Oh, he's a Muslim. And this man grew up Muslim and supposedly, allegedly converted to Christianity. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. But my thing is like, nowhere in the United States Constitution does it say the president of all you have to be is an American-born citizen and what, 45 years of age?
35.
35. Sorry, 35. That's it. It doesn't say you have to be Christian.
That's right.
You cannot be Muslim. You cannot be Buddhist. But there is never a person on this planet in the country who's ever going to become president of the United States if they say anything other than, oh, I'm a Christian. It's not going to happen because people don't even really know what the Islamic faith is. They know what they see on TV. They know what the news scares them into thinking. And like, so just the thought that this guy might be a Muslim was enough to make him unfit to be president. Like, what do you know about Islamic faith? Like, what do you know? Have you actually done any research? What people would probably be surprised to find out is, guess what, people? Jesus is in the Quran. Like, Jesus is a part of that story. He's a part of that religion. Like, just don't believe him to be God's son. And wake up. There's some people who aren't religious at all. Like, there's some people who maybe don't believe in God. Like, that's okay. As long as you have your faith and you're doing your thing, you don't have, like, you know, I don't want to get into too big of a debate, but like, there's people who want to run policy and make policy in our country surrounded around their religious beliefs. Yeah. Like, this is supposed to be the land of the free. There's some people who live here who don't have your same beliefs, and they should be able to live their lives without impeding yours. If that motherfucker comes in your house and he's trying to change the way you live, okay, you have a gripe. But everybody, put it on a t-shirt. Just do you. Yep. Just do you. Yep. It's so,
I think if you just like open up and have like discussions with other people, you'd be really surprised at what you would learn and what you'd be open to. And I find it fascinating. I love talking to other people especially when they have very different opinions or upbringing, you know, than my own. Right. Because, well, I've never experienced that. So tell me more, you know?
Yeah. If you're only surrounded by people who think and were raised the exact same, you're not going to know anything. Boring. You're going to stay stupid. Like, you're never going to learn anything. At some point, you're going to plateau on what you've allowed yourself to learn.
Absolutely.
And it is boring. And
so I can genuinely attest to that. Like, that was my life in 2016. Yeah. I was so far one-sided. I didn't want to fucking hear it. Yeah. I didn't care what you had to say. I was right and you were wrong. No. Yeah. And over these past couple of years, I've just, like, my mind has opened up so much just by listening. Good, like, good. I'm not listening to respond. I'm listening to understand.
Right. More people should do that. I think a lot of people, they'll be in a conversation and they're not listening because they're just thinking about what they're going to say next. Yeah. Right. They're not listening. Yeah. And that's the first part of communication is listening.
I think what people don't realize is you can listen and gain an understanding without changing your mind.
Exactly. You don't have to agree with them.
Absolutely.
Because there's a bunch of shit that I don't agree with. Right. But I'm respectful in how I respond to it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And even you know, I feel like with me and Chris, we've had a lot of conversations over the years about a lot of things. And there's things that we've been on complete opposite sides of, where we've had a conversation and maybe we didn't meet in the middle, but I pulled a little bit more towards his direction and he pulled a little bit toward mine. And we just had a better understanding of where the other was coming from. Yeah. And the fact that we didn't agree on it was okay. And we respected the idea that, okay, I can see that point. That makes sense to me. Like, I'm not coming all the way over to where you are, but it's like, I don't know. It's like people are, they don't want to be wrong. They're afraid to be wrong. And they're afraid that people that are different from them are trying to change them. Yeah. When in reality, that's what you're doing. Like, no, you're trying to change that person. Like, if everybody just stayed in their lane, and if there's something that you know, like if there's something that I knew you and I did not agree on, maybe we would talk about it once, and if we never came to an impasse or whatever, we just wouldn't talk about it again. Yeah. There's other stuff for us to talk about. That happens with me and Chris all the time. Yep. Like, if we have a conversation, we end it on whatever we either agreed to disagree, or maybe we both agree, whatever. Yep. And we don't talk about it again. There's plenty of other stuff to talk about. There's real life shit going on. And I know when you turn on the TV and the radio, you think the only thing going on is this election and politics. But there's so much. And my man Chris, like, he is all about finding the little things. This man will go take a picture of a sunset and be like, everybody, just look at this sunset. Like, there's a real life world out there. And one thing that we both did at one point, we just unplugged it all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. We were like,
and the clarity that fucking came from that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And all the clarity is just like,
for like a week. All it was like 7 days. Cut the phone off, cut the TV off, talk to your family, go outside, take a walk. Like, all that bullshit, when we came back, it was still there waiting for us. It didn't go nowhere.
It's that simple, folks. That's simple. Yep.
Yeah. And you realize when you do that, how much none of that shit actually affects your everyday life.
Absolutely.
It doesn't.
People get so worked up over just shit.
Yes.
It's nothing.
Yeah. 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 That's a big pet peeve. Okay. I we don't have to focus on that too much. What gets you pumped up? What gets you excited?
What do I get excited about?
Yeah.
I get excited about other cultures. I get excited about what I don't know about. I love science. There's just, as long as you learn something every day, then you keep going, and no one knows everything. So
exactly.
There's a really badass page on Instagram called What If.
Yeah.
And this fucking dude, he's like, I guess has a science background. I don't know how deep it is, but he does these like little 7-minute videos of like, what if you fell into a volcano? And he like breaks down like the scientific facts of what would happen if you were to fall into a volcano.
Yeah.
But he does it with, dude, all kind of shit. Like it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing, like, I'm glad you're one of those people who could go look at that and be like, dude, that's dope. There's probably people in the comments like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just open your mind up to some real possibilities. So you said you like science. I heard you mention music.
Yeah.
You like live music?
I love live music.
If you can find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Right now, especially. Any live music is good music.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's
for
how
sure.
I feel.
Even the symphony. You ever been to the symphony? Like, I don't know if you ever had the
I've
opportunity.
never been.
Oh man,
Dude.
And see, Haley's been on me like white on rice to
Man.
go to like a ballet or a symphony or a musical.
You want to feel yourself get some
amazing.
goosebumps, man?
Goosebumps.
Go to the symphony.
You can like feel the music, and it's just
and it's probably
amazing.
shit you're thinking, man, I would never fucking listen to this shit.
Yeah.
Well, you
'cause
will.
It's
You will.
trust me. Every now and again, you talk about road rage. If I'm on 290 or I-45,
290.
if I'm on those freeways, I will tell Siri, play classical music.
Calm your ass down.
Because I'm about to get out of here and punch somebody. But no, like, I love music too. And live music is something that's disappearing. We talked a little bit about the arts. Like, number one thing that I love about the arts, about music, is that's the type of things that, like, it'll bring people together. And then all the other stuff we were just talking about doesn't matter. Like, you can relate to somebody. Let's say you hear a jazz song and it takes you back to some moment in your life where you heard jazz.
Oh yeah.
And you're sitting next to another person in the concert and they're jamming too. And you're like, hey, yeah, I like this. This is good. Now all of a sudden you've connected and you didn't ask that person who they voted for. You didn't ask what their religion was. The music just brought y'all together.
Oh yeah.
That's how me and Chris became friends.
Yeah.
I think I'd been dating Whitney for like a month and we decided to go on a camping trip. And I was like, I really want them to like me. And I was like, and I didn't want to be fake or anything. So like they had a music box there. We were all playing music and we were all drinking a little bit, we were camping. And when it came up to be my turn, I was trying to gauge Chris. I'm like, what's he gonna like? I was like, I'm gonna bond.
This is my husband. He likes to play DJ. Like, all right, I'm gonna get this party started.
Yeah, right. If I was an Uber driver, that's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, this guy looks like he likes Miles Davis. But I'm trying to like figure out Chris, right? And I was like, you know what? I was thinking he was going to be into like heavy metal, which it actually turned out he was, but I don't know anything about metal. So I was like, I'm going to go with some punk music and see what this dude, so I started playing Blink-182, some Green Day, stuff like that. And this guy was like, oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love this guy. We're like bro hugging and stuff. I literally had known this dude for like a couple of weeks, but it's just crazy how music, art, even sports can do that.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're getting I remember when the Astros won the World Series, there was people all in the streets. Look, seeing people in the streets when they're protesting certain things and seeing people in the streets celebrating a championship from their sports team, it's like completely different. There's a wide variety of people. There's people there with their kids. There's people crying, and it's over a fucking game. But at the same time, like, if you can do that in that moment, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to do that all the time.
Absolutely.
You know what I remember from the Astros winning the World Series?
What's that?
They were in that 5-story parking garage.
Yeah.
And that dude's hat fell off.
Yeah.
And they caught it and they were fucking story
And
by
they
story
passed it back up there.
I was like, dude, that's like fucking incredible.
On a Tuesday, somebody been like, oh shit, a hat, and been gone, right? It's just funny, but I mean, anything that can bring people together like that, I'm down with it. Like, and if we can do that in those moments, if we can do that when terrorists crash 2 planes into a building, like, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to do that on a Monday or a Wednesday or a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Yep. And like, the capability is there. We just gotta.
And I think people are so afraid of what other people are going to think about them.
Yeah.
Like if I'm jamming and there's like some kid next to me and they give me a weird look, I'll be like, "Hey man, yeah, rock and roll."
dude.
Be like, "Yeah, you have a great day." And my husband's
Yes.
like, "What? Do you know
Yes,
him?"
I am playing the Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way on level 18 at the intersection.
I'm that fucking 30-year-old who drives around blaring Green Day and fucking Sum 41. I don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck,
I'm
man.
pissing off all the Deer Park playing
Yes.
Slipknot down the street. Like,
Yes.
Exactly.
I just got that new car, man. I got that fucking sunroof and the windows down. And I'm fucking driving.
man.
I'm fucking playing drums on my fucking steering wheel.
my car's got a sweet sound system. I love it.
I'm telling you, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's little things like that, man, that
See, and I used to work for Capitol Records, so I would
Really?
probably do about like 3 concerts a week.
like the Capitol.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I mean, I worked here, but I
Right.
was like their Houston
No,
part
no,
of their
no,
like
no.
Houston team, you know.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, we wanted to go sing outside of the Capitol Records building because I used to live in California.
Okay.
So our plan was to go in front of the Capitol Records building and be like, "Ooh." This is before YouTube and people were making their own music. Like that was the old school style of
God.
we're gonna go stand in front of Capitol Records
Your
and sing a
mixtape?
song. Yeah, with our mixtape on us.
See, ours was Sugar Hill Studios. That's
Oh,
what
was
we're-
it?
Yeah.
we were gonna put our shit on a trailer.
Yeah.
And drive up and start jamming. Oh, who are those guys? Like we sucked so fucking bad we couldn't see straight, but like we were determined to fucking go play at Sugar Hill Studios.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. That's
need
just
some good
talking
people.
just talking about it makes me happy, man.
Me
So what'd you
too.
do for Capitol Records?
just like street team and work, just getting the word out, basically marketing,
Yeah.
which is in some form or fashion kind of what I've always done. I just never knew.
Right.
So I just went out. I would get free tickets to any show, and I would have to meet the band, and I'd have to take a picture with them
Right.
and ask them some questions and get some posters and some swag and pass it out to people. And it was a sweet gig.
Yeah, I bet. That
Damn.
sounds dope.
Yeah, no, I would get like, a lot of people talk bad about South by Southwest. I love South by Southwest. It is awesome, so innovative, and these people did really make you think outside the box, which as a creative, that's what I'm all about.
Right.
So,
What is South by Southwest? I'm sorry.
South by Southwest is a huge, it's just a like creativity festival, but it's movies, it's performance, it's music, it's just everything, and it just gets bigger and bigger. Now, I mean, I haven't been in a while, I'm a
Right.
mom now.
Yeah.
But whenever I used to go, I mean, and it's like a week long or like
wow.
14, 12 days, something like
Yeah.
that. And it was just awesome. And there'd be a lot of secret shows, lots of stand-up comedians.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I remember one time we were at Chewy's, we thought the night was over, and we get a phone call, and they're like, "Hey, you need to go because Beastie Boys are doing a secret show right now." And I'm like, "Let's go, let's go."
That's what's up. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
and it was about, they let like just a handful of people in, maybe, I don't even think it was 50 people they let in, then they locked the doors.
Right.
And you cannot get out, you can't get in. I mean, but it was badass. No one even knew the Beastie Boys were going to be there, just people show up. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's Austin, live music capital of Texas, if
Right,
not,
right.
half the United States at least.
Didn't
for
they?
sure.
Didn't they cancel stop that this year?
Oh, I'm
They canceled a lot of stuff.
I was about
this
to
year.
say-
Well, no. I'm talking like permanently. Like South by Southwest is
yeah,
done.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't.
I don't know if it's permanent. Because when you said South by Southwest, it was like starting to ring a bell.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you explained what it was, I don't know if it was. It might have been permanently.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
'Cause
But
I-
that sounds dope. That sounds
All
dope.
my favorite things are canceled this year. We always go to the Lone Star Rally. My husband and I ride, and
Yeah.
I am so sad.
So do you have a bike?
Yeah. I mean, I sold my bike because I'm looking to get a different one.
Right.
My bike was heavier than my husband's bike, and I
Oh,
was
snap.
like, I just want something smaller. I'm
Right.
not that big of a person.
Right.
And so I laid it down a couple times. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try something different.
That's got to be scary as shit.
You said you laid it down a couple times.
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah, that'd have been enough for me.
Yeah, the one
Somebody
time
come get this
there wouldn't have been
motherfucker.
a second time.
It's not that bad. It is kind of like the slow motion thing. You're like, oh shit, here we go. Oh.
I had a bike when I graduated, and Pops got it for my graduation present.
Yeah.
My uncle had a motorcycle crash, and I sold that bitch.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are into it, and it's cool as fuck. I've considered it.
Have you ever rode a bike?
No, it's been forever. Like I've never actually driven one myself. I've been on a bike before.
Man,
but
that's the best feeling.
I mean, I imagine too. And like, I have a buddy that I used to work with.
No, they didn't cancel it permanently.
Okay.
March 12th through the 20th, 2021.
Okay, cool.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. But no, I have a buddy who, he used to be a part of like a club, and they'd get together and like just ride to Oklahoma City or go to Vegas. Like they would do all kind. He'd show me pictures, and they're having a good time. Like that looks fucking badass.
Yeah.
But
the only problem with bikes here is not you as a rider. It's all the fucking idiots around
Exactly.
you.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
You've got to
don't pay attention.
Yeah, you've got to really, really pay attention to what's going on around you when you're on a motorcycle.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, and I'm a very like my bike wasn't loud, and I'm like, look, the louder my bike is, then the more people are going to know when I'm coming up around them.
Yeah.
exactly.
So I mean, loud pipes save lives. That's what we always say, and I think that's very true.
That's cool. So you usually go to the big rally down in Galveston?
Yeah, I don't ride there though. I'll ride bitch with my husband.
Okay. Yeah,
because that's a lot of people. I think the last time we went, it was 500,000.
Yeah.
Ooh, 500,000 motorcycles.
I don't remember how many years ago this was, but I was working for AT&T, so it was at least 7 or 8 years ago, and actually witnessed a fatality. Yeah. So that was another thing that was like, I don't know.
I've seen a couple of them, and I've had
it was on the causeway.
Yes,
like it was.
Yeah. Every year there's fatalities, and I've you just see a couple of them, and it definitely makes your heart sink.
Yeah,
but
I understand if you're passionate about it and you love doing it, and I mean you only live once, right?
That's what I always say. I mean, I love I just like going fast. I like fast cars.
I feel you.
So yeah, you only live once, and if you lived in fear, then you wouldn't be living at all.
Yeah.
So I just kind of hope for the best, try to stay educated and careful, and
I'm with you.
Fingers crossed.
I'm trying to think of the most dangerous thing I've been willing to do. We went hang gliding.
That's crazy.
In Mexico. No, it wasn't hang gliding. It was parasailing.
Yeah.
Hang gliding I wanted to do, but then I saw a video, and I'm like, but what happens if you accidentally let go? There's nothing. Oh, no, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Hang gliding, I don't know if I think I want to jump out of a plane. Have you jumped out of a plane?
I have not. I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, but you keep getting closer. So the longer you wait, you're getting closer and closer.
Everybody I've talked to says like, if you're scared of heights or not, like that's not a factor when you're in the plane.
And I know that the first time, maybe the first couple times you go, then you're tandem with someone else, and you're basically forced to go whenever they jump. Is whenever you jump, like let's go. So I know I will do it at some point.
Right, it's on the bucket list.
I don't want to think about it right now.
I hear you. Okay, I'm trying to think what else we could get your hot take on. I guess we can come back to ass eating now. No? I don't know if you heard that conversation, and when we did Laughter is the Best Medicine, we always like to chop on Florida. And so there's this dude he literally went to jail so he could keep his I eat ass sticker on his truck rather than just cover up a letter. All he had to do was cover up a letter, and the cop would let him go.
Take one off. Take one of the letters off of
take
ass.
one letter off of ass, and you can go. And this dude's like, nope.
Stood his ground.
Yeah, he was the Rosa Parks of ass eating. He was gonna stand his ground.
Why was he sent to jail for a sticker?
Because
profanity.
Apparently in Florida, it's display of
profanity.
I can't remember what the exact term was. It was like a display of improper,
like lewdness.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Aren't there bumper stickers that say like "eat shit and die" and crap like that?
I don't know, but I mean, I was in high school, and on the back of my car, I had like one of those little like cancer ribbons or something like that. Except mine was black, and it said "Support sex, drugs, and rock and roll." And it got stolen off my car so many times, so I would buy them in bulk.
Wait, it was a bumper sticker or a magnet?
It was a magnet.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a magnet.
I was gonna say that's some dedication.
But I mean, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, man, it's just an ideal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you like eating ass, then you just go for it, all right?
There you go. Everybody do you. That's funny.
You do
yeah,
you.
but I don't know, because then the conversation came up, like it got a little personal, and my man was squirming in his chair here. But he's like, hey, Doug, I've been
Nick
married for
fucking loves it. He fucking loves
it makes our show entertaining. I guarantee that is because this is how I gauge. I don't know. See, Chris, everything I say, Chris laughs at, and that's not like a slight on him. Like he's just a tickled person, right? It's just you say something, he's gonna be tickled. So when we're watching a show, I usually wait for my wife, and the part she laughed at the hardest when I was like, "Hey, Chris, how do you feel about eating ass?" And his face, he's like, you gotta go back and watch it. His face is priceless. He's like, I know in his mind, like he had like the angel version of himself and the devil version of himself on his shoulders, and then he probably had Haley up here, like,
Yeah, there's like 15 things going through my fucking head at one time. Like,
he's trying to think like,
oh shit.
Oh man, but that's what makes. That's what I love about our show is the dynamic. Like me, I'll fucking say anything, and I'll apologize after if I offended somebody. Like if it's there, it's gonna come out. So that's just kind of what we do.
It takes me a few minutes to gather how I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
Without
Plus
anybody under the bus.
Plus Chris also was thinking about the headline: Fair Dinkum president talks
yeah.
about eating ass on podcast. Like a picture of him with his coffee cup with the logo and everything.
I feel like people almost expect me to do something stupid, and all of my clients would be like, "Yeah, well, you got your tattoos and your hair, and like my crazy nails or whatever, and that's just who I am."
Right.
But people,
so you don't worry about how
me.
that affects business, like it.
No, then if a client doesn't want to if they don't want me to. I don't want them
then you're not you're not the right person for them.
Exactly. Then you know what? Then I do know some people that are straight edge, and I'll send them your
boring.
way. Yes. And you're going to get a boring Fiverr logo from them too.
Hey, our logo came from Fiverr.
Fuck Fiverr, by the way.
Really?
You don't like them? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I did this as an experiment one time. I just did like a $5 logo because I saw some other YouTubers doing it, and I was like, I'm gonna check this out.
So you were gonna sell your stuff on Fiverr?
Well, I looked into it, but full on knowing that I wasn't really gonna do that because it's gimmicks. It's gimmicky.
It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's a flooded market.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of. How do you feel about templates and? Do it yourself.
I think templates are okay as long as you don't use the template. If you need somewhere to start, that's fine, but don't use the template. Just use it to give you, all right, well, I've got these boxes here and this image here and a little bit of this coding here, and I'll start with that. And that's fine. I mean, I think a lot of professional designers do that as well. But, it just depends on the budget.
Right.
If I've got a client that is going to pay $10,000 for this website and they want it very like this, and this. All right, fine. I can do that from scratch. But if I get a client and they're like, I just need something just to get me started. I've got this much. I'm like, hey, well, that's cool. We'll throw in some stock images. We'll do this, but it's not going to look cheesy. And I think a lot of designers, if you don't do the right colors, it can come off really cheesy. Yeah. I see some designers, I don't know if y'all know what the difference between CMYK and RGB. CMYK is for print.
Right.
RGB is for web, and it's a color mode. And then when you see like a website where the blues and the greens like really clash and they're so ugly, they use the wrong color mode, and that is graphic design 101. Like you get a designer like that, then
that's your pet peeve.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Man. So
I'm a design snob.
I hope you don't feel less of us that your vector file that you made came from a Fiverr created logo.
No, it's whatever works.
Yeah, we were getting started, but I'm just like right now, all of our content we create, like I'm not talented in art. Chris don't have the time to do it. No, I don't think he's talented.
So see, and that's why there's places like that for individuals like yourselves. Not everyone has the time, and they're just trying to get something up and going, and they don't need it to be perfect. They don't but you came to me for this different file type and all of that. So if I design a logo for someone, I make sure that they get, it probably ends up being like 23 or 24 files by the time I'm done. Yeah. It's not just one logo, one file.
So how do you compete with that though? Because if I can go on Fiverr and get a logo made for $5, like how are you competing with that?
I'd say about 70% of my clients are people who have gone on Canva or Fiverr and said, look, I messed up. Can you help me?
Gotcha.
And then they, I mean, pay.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what
And I
you
mean,
pay
you
for.
can, depending on what you're doing, you can reverse Google some of the images you get from Fiverr, and they'll show up like 1,000
I
different
haven't had
logos
the balls to
across
do
the
that
web.
yet because I don't want to see it.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
I don't want to see it. There's going to be
so-
17 different Smells Like Middle Age Spirit podcast
I mean,
logos.
You know,
Yeah,
everyone's
you got
different.
this room all fucking tagged up. Like, don't do that.
yeah, it's fine. It's so for the people who know us, they recognize it. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's perfect.
yeah, for sure. And we appreciate all the help you gave us and I wouldn't, speaking of template, our store is Shopify. Sorry. Like it was
That's
easy.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got that store started because you helped us. I was trying to find somewhere to do t-shirts and I needed a vector file and I didn't even know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
And so Chris told me, hey, call Naomi. She's got it. So it's Richison Design, right?
Yep, Richison
All right.
Design.
I hope people will call you
works.
up and
Yeah.
get it in, because what would you say your primary way of advertising is?
Right now, it's really just word of mouth. It's
Yeah.
a lot of people that know me from the
Exactly.
chamber.
Right.
So a lot of people who know other people who know other people,
Right.
and they all know that I'll get it done.
Yeah. The community. The
Yeah.
community. That's what's up. Well, I think this went really well.
I agree.
And I had a good time. And you're very, very talented on the microphone. I tell you what, like, I hope you already feel like you're part of the crew. Like, I know that this is your first time coming on.
Yeah.
And, like, we appreciate, because we know you listen when you get the opportunity to. And, like I said, some of this stuff we wouldn't even have without you. So you're definitely part of the crew. But, I mean, I would love to talk more about what we're trying to do is we're trying to put together a team. And I think we've announced this on the show.
Yeah.
We're trying to put together a team and really take this podcast to the next level. Up to this point, it's been just me and Chris. And, Chris has got 700 other things going on. So a lot of the podcast stuff has fallen onto me. And we're like, it's funny. It was actually Chris's idea because I was like, man, I'm drowning. And, he's got his possibility of his coffee shop opening. And I was like, I just don't know what's going to happen. And he's like, man, it sounds like we're ready to put together a team. And like this light bulb went off in my head. Like,
Ding.
I'm a
Why-
startup guy.
Yeah.
I can take something and get it off the ground with fucking steam rolling behind it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like the startup
A
process.
lot of people get an idea and then they just don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chris is all about getting it started.
All right.
That's his thing. And I mean, that's why we're here. So, like I said, I hope that you feel like you're part of the crew and, maybe possibly, I'm not saying you have to be on the show, but let's talk about maybe helping us out, with our push moving forward. I
Yeah.
think that'd be great. And that chair is open to you at any time.
All
Anytime
right,
you want to
thank
come
you.
through and talk some shit, for sure, you can come through. So, let's see. Yeah, that went really well. We've been running for about an hour and 20 minutes.
We
So-
didn't cut off. Everything's
no, everything is beautiful.
good.
All right.
Good.
It's going to be a good day. I can feel it. Let me hurry up and get us out of here before this shit shuts off. But we just want to thank everybody for listening. And real quick, we want to thank our sponsors. Josh Beard, he is a realtor for Keller Williams, and he's the best in the business. And anybody who's looking to buy a home or sell their home, please give him a call. Josh Beard, we have all his information on our Facebook. I want to thank Sarah Cooligan of the Urban Soap Bar. I believe she's getting married this weekend. So I think it is this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for your support. We want to thank Stephen Terry, mutual friend of ours. Did you do Stephen Terry's logo?
I didn't do his logo, but I've done some other stuff for him.
Okay. You wrapped his truck. I think he got a new van or something.
Yeah, he's working on the new van.
Yeah, Stephen Terry is.
I seen it parked outside. I was like, no.
When Stephen Terry told me that he goes from Orange, Texas to fucking Victoria,
That dude's got a spread, man.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude is out
Yeah.
here getting it.
Yes.
But don't worry, guys. He's got time for you. So give him a call. Go to Stephen Terry, Pest Elimination. He's on Facebook. He's going to be the first person that pops up. Search him for his Facebook page and give him a call. He's also the best in the biz.
Yep.
Then we want to thank my man, Kevin Provost of Money Management International and Co. If you want to get your credit straight, give him a call. And you can Google him and also look him up on Facebook. He's got a Facebook page for Money Management Co. And then I want to thank Banerjee Plastic Surgery, my wife's employer. She runs the biz. She's the best in the biz. Dr. Banerjee's the best in the biz. If you're looking for a Miss New Booty Judy, go to BanerjeePlasticSurgery.com. Tell them you listen to the show, and they're going to give you $1,000 off of your procedure.
And their tattoo laser removals. Get rid of them jailhouse tats.
Yes, there's also discounts on Botox, tattoo removal, all types of things. Let them know you listen to the show, and they're going to hook you up. All right, Naomi, thank you so much for coming. This is the first time you've had a microphone in your face with the ability.
Yeah.
You know, we actually have a listener in Holland.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Very cool.
It is Holland, right?
Yeah.
Sarah's, I think it
Yes.
was Sarah's. She said her folks are from Holland.
Very
I told her I need to learn. Do you know any Dutch?
Yeah, I know Dutch.
Okay, I need to learn how to
it's-
say thank you for listening to the Smells Like Melody Spirit podcast in Dutch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would just say thank you, all, and that just means thank you.
Okay, we'll work on that later.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk to them. They've been listening, and we really appreciate it. So thank you for coming on, and you're welcome anytime.
All right, thanks. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. All right, I'm going to get us out of here. You guys know the deal. For our guest, Naomi Richison, my name's Nick Stevenson.
My name's Chris Clark, and we'll see y'all next time.
You've been listening to the Smells Like Middle-Aged Spirit podcast with Nick and Chris. For more show content, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.